Hello everybody, it's Scott Bent here with Total Life Changes, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about one of the biggest subjects that I get questions about, and that is carryover volume. And so I want to take a minute to take a look at the back office of one of the people in my organization that has allowed us to take a look at their numbers, and it has a very good wide range of different things that we can talk about. And so I want to cover a few things, just the basics, that help you understand carryover volume and how it works. It's one of the greatest things about Total Life Changes is that it allows for you to keep the extra volume that you get on your power leg inside of a week. And so we're going to start down at the bottom just because I want to show some very specific things that you need to understand about carryover volume. You'll see on side of these December dates over here at the end, you'll see that there's no carryover volume on the left or on the right side. And what happened in this particular situation is that this IBO did not have an auto ship at this time. And so when you do not have your auto ship in place, you cannot keep your carryover volume. And so you'll notice that there was volume here that he could have gotten paid on if he was binary qualified, or this volume could have accumulated on each side, and we'll talk about that in a moment, where he would have got paid on it eventually once he got binary qualified. But because he did not have an active auto ship during this period of time, that volume flushes each week and you lose your opportunity to get that. And so that would be a shame for sure. And so I want to then begin to talk about January. And so what happened in the first week of January is that he activated his auto ship. That's the most important thing in your TLC business, is your auto ship. And so you'll see on that particular first week of January, there was a 40 volume on the left side. There was 350 volume on the right side. And so it shows the total volume, and we'll talk about that in a second, was 40 and 350. And so carryover volume, because he had his auto ship in place, was able to keep the 40 from the left side and the 350 from the right side. And so we're going to go to the next week, January 9th through the 15th. Still has his active auto ship. And on that particular side, the left side had 370 in volume. The right side had 230 in volume. And so what it does now is it takes the previous carryover volume, which is 40, and it adds it to the current volume on that left side of 370, and now we have a total left volume of 410. It does the same thing with the right side. It takes the carryover volume of 350 and it adds it to the 230 of the current week, and so now you have 580 as your total volume. Now it goes to carryover volume. Now it's keeping those total numbers because his auto ship is active, but he is not binary qualified. And so as long as your auto ship is active, all of that volume coming through your business, you get to hold that volume and carryover volume until you do get binary qualified. And so I won't go over each week, but you will see that that volume begins to accumulate on each side. It's growing a little bit each week, and each week he is getting more and more volume coming into his business as long as he keeps his auto ship active. You will notice on the PV side of things, your auto ship does not count toward your PV. This is your customer volume we're talking about that adds into your pay leg. And again, this one does not show an example of that, but I'll just say if you had 100 volume from customer sales inside of a given week, it would get added into whichever leg would be your pay leg, and you would get paid on that volume for that week. And so we're going to go up here until something really beautiful happened. And so inside of February 13th through 19th, he was still an affiliate. He was not binary qualified. There was an extra 150 on the left side, 1585 on the right side. That got all added together with his current volume until you see all of that carried here. Well, something really awesome happened. He got binary qualified the next week. And so that next week, there was 610 on the left side, and there was 1008 on the right side. Those totals got added together. And then instead of moving over like we normally see, we see some new numbers over here. And I'll tell you what happened. The 1561.25, that's his pay leg. Now he's binary qualified. He qualifies to get paid on all of this volume, which includes this carryover volume that was in existence before. That 6,649.25, that was the power leg. And so what Total Life Changes does is it pays you on the 1561.25. It takes 1561.25 from your power leg, and you keep everything else above that. And so you'll see right there, 5,088 is his power leg carryover volume. So he got paid on this volume right here. And since he was just an associate, and for a side note, if he had already been in place with his auto ship correct to a director's numbers, his personal volume would have been correct for director's numbers, he could have potentially hit his director position in this spot. But that didn't happen that particular week. But he still got a very nice check of carryover volume. He got 10% of all the volume that had accumulated. So for this particular week, he got a check of roughly $156, not to mention he got binary qualified, so he got his fast start bonus from 2 signups as well. And so he got a nice little check that particular week just for getting binary qualified. And so as you continue to move forward, each week as he gets volume, he's getting paid 10% of that as an associate. He's getting paid 10% of that as an associate. You start to see his numbers really go up over here. A lot of activities start to go on. He's still an associate because he did not raise his auto ship. You have to get your auto ship in place. He thought he was going to be director when he started hitting these numbers, but he had not put his auto ship in place, and he did not place a personal order of 80 volume or more in his back office so that he could become a director. And so he missed that opportunity on this particular week, although he got paid very nicely off of a 2320 volume. He got paid a nice little $232 check here. Another week, 2880 in volume. You'll notice that in both of these weeks, this left side volume was larger than this right side volume. Well, because he had carryover volume, we're looking at the total volume. So even though this looks like it should be his power leg, his carryover volume from his right leg really shows us where his power leg really is. That's the beautiful part about Total Life Changes. You don't lose that volume. And so he gets paid off of the 2880. We subtract it from here, and this becomes his new carryover volume over here. And so now what happens is the following week, he's got his auto ship in place. He hits the numbers again, 2230. So now he becomes a director. Again, a smaller number on the right side, but because of that carryover volume, we add it all together. His carryover volume now 66, 73, and 25. His numbers continue to go up each week. But again, when they're smaller, Total Life Changes takes his carryover volume, subtracts the difference. And so you'll see here, he still has a significant amount of carryover volume, but he's been able to get paid off of quite a bit of that at different times, if you'll notice, at different points where it dropped down lower than it was before. At a high point over here, it was 86.92, and we see it go as low as 66 right here. So he got paid roughly an extra 2,000 volume over here that he wouldn't have gotten if there was no such thing as carryover volume. And so you'll see that carryover volume can be used to help you promote and certainly help you get paid more inside of a given week. And I'll give you a direct example that we don't see here. If on a given week he had 5,000 in volume here on his left side, it would get added in on the left side here. Whatever was on the right side would get added into this 8,000. he would become an executive director because he would have enough volume on his right side already, no matter what he had on his right side that week. If he got 5,000 in volume on his left side that week, as long as he's got that ADRship, and we know he does because he's a director, he's going to become an executive director with Total Life Changes because he's got enough volume on his right side carryover volume to be able to make that happen. And so hopefully this helped you understand carryover volume just a little bit better. When you look at your numbers each week, it's going to look like this: your personal volume, your left side volume, your right side volume, and you're going to usually have a good idea of which side is your power leg, because that's the side that's going to be doing a lot more numbers. But there are times when those sides change. Many people have a strong power leg that's being built from spillover. Some people don't. I was not one of those people that had spillover. And so you may or may not be that person. So you may understand which side is your power leg, and you may not understand which side. It may change from week to week depending on how active each of your legs is in volume. And so keep a close eye on your carryover volume. It can help you hit promotions, and it's certainly a way that you can get paid a lot more on a weekly basis if you create more activity on your lesser leg. And so I appreciate y'all taking a look at this video. Hopefully it helped you get a little more insight into what you can do in the way of using your carryover volume. As always, I pray that God would continue to bless you and pour out a blessing you won't have room enough to receive. Take care.